All right. So I always get the questions about creating video ads. So let me just tell you a few things that really work well. So the first thing is you do need to have some decent equipment to record the video. So most phones, if you're making your own video ads, most phones from the last few years, they have really good cameras in them, good enough to make very, very good videos. Otherwise, you can use I have a Canon HD camera. You can get them a couple $100s, and those do a great job too. So I like a camera like the Androids. I can manually set the exposure. So a couple things about creating the video. I like having manual exposure. That way it doesn't auto adjust all the time when I'm doing the video. The other thing, and the most important thing about a video is you've got to make the product the star of the movie. So it needs to be the star of the movie. So it's really critical that you get the attention of your potential customers within 3 seconds. You need to do the right thing in 3 seconds or you lose. I've seen video ads that are just crushing it, and I've seen video ads that are worse than images. It's all about the way you tell your story, and you tell your story with visuals, and visuals are showing off the product. So what I always say that within 5 seconds, people need to know, they need to understand 100% what you're offering within the first 5 seconds. So typically I do something within that 3 and 5 seconds to really grab their attention. Now, one of the things you to understand is that when people are on Facebook, so if I go on Facebook on my phone and I'm going to look at something, so let's just think about what's in the head and what Facebook users are doing, and just put yourself in that position. So what are they doing? They are in here. In fact, I'm just seeing myself here right now. I just popped this up. So when people go on their phone, what they're doing is they're just scrolling. They scroll. If you look here, if it's just an image, it's not that interesting. You can see now most content, a lot of content now is video on Facebook. So, I mean, stuff like this, that's for your friends, but not for advertising. Unless that really works with your audience. So people scroll. They're looking at their phone. When people move, movement is what catches the eye, because that's what our 10,000-year-old brain is there looking for, things that are moving. So we want, look, I mean, here's here's an ad, here's somebody talking. The movement gets their attention, and getting the right movement is really important. So when people are looking through Facebook, because a lot of people, that's what they pick up their phone and they're just trying to waste some time. So they're looking for something to get their attention. So you can see now that most everything is video. And what I'm finding is, as time goes by, the images just don't do the job anymore, because so much of the content on Facebook is now video. There's no, I don't find the images work at all. Okay. Same thing. This is actually not a very good one. So what I say is that you need to get their attention at the very beginning, but it needs to be genuine, not just some fake attention. So I've also seen video ads that get really high click-through rates, but they don't sell anything. So we have a balance as marketers, as we create our video. We have a balance between, we want to get attention, at the same time we want to properly promote our product or our offer. So that's the balance we need to take. But it must be genuine, the way you do it, the attention. It's best if you can get their attention with the product or with something the product does. So in some cases, you may need to do some crazy things, like something that's funny, that's called funny, or it's called a pattern interrupt. So if I were doing this video and if I've got this hourglass, so if on this video I was wearing an hourglass through the whole video, you're going to remember this video because I did something unusual that's called a pattern interrupt. That's just something I had on my desk. So if I was wearing this the whole time and I didn't say anything about it, that would get your attention. So use things that are unusual, in the background, in the foreground, or something that might kind of get people's curiosity is great. If you can, in your ad copy or your video, but still you need to communicate that what the product, you want full comprehension of the offer in 5 seconds. You want to get their attention, do something, and that's where this whole thing takes a little imagination, and it's going to be some trial and error when you first get this done. But what I recommend is people to and then the next thing I get asked a lot is, okay, well, why don't I just outsource this to someone else? Well, you can certainly do that, but not until you master it yourself. You've got to have this thing down first, because you need to be the director to tell people exactly how to put together the video. So you need a tripod, a phone holder at a minimum. And then for lighting, I just use, you could see a desk lamp in the background lighting up the wall, and it looks nice in a video like this. But I use incandescent lights to light things up. But use text callouts. I typically use a meme style text callout with bold lettering at the bottom, and now I do it at the bottom. So what you're doing with a video ad is your goal in your video ad is to take control of the eyes of the people that are watching your video. So whatever you want them to see, your video should direct them to see what you want them to see, whether it's the text call out or the product or something it does. So you need a frame. I do square videos just under 60 seconds. So I can use that on Instagram, and most of the placements take that. Now for Instagram stories, you want to make something tall, so that's another edit. But experiment with things like two-way splits. You can do a split screen, show something at the top, something at the bottom. I've had a lot of effective things with doing a four-way split. So I show the product, there's 4 different places. So and what's critical is you must have movement throughout the video. So that means no slideshows at all, no static images. Everything must have, you have motion from the start to the end, motion 100%. And especially those first 3 to 5 seconds, I scrutinize every 1/8 of a second of that. So now's the time I've been 100% video ad for over 2.5 years. I have campaigns that have been running with the same ad, and they work every single day for me for over 2 years. And I have others that have been running a long time also. So I know when I switched to over 2.5 years ago from image to video, I took all my proven sellers, and then I did the videos, and so I had metrics back to back on between the two, and most of the time I saw my cost per purchase go down. I saw my relevance scores, go up to 9s and 10s when they're done correctly, and my CPM drop. In fact, we've got this whole thing with the Senate hearings. What a joke. Nothing's going to change. It's just a big dog and pony show. And, there's people out there saying the sky is falling and Facebook's no good. I look at most of my ads I get 5 times 5x ROI on my ad spend in most cases, 5x and up. So, I mean, you can do it. So this is where when you start doing video, this is where you take the people that copy and paste. They copy other people's ads. They copy other people's ad copy. They copy other people's products. So the copy and pasters versus the real marketers. And the people that are copying and pasting, you're not going to be around in 2 or 3 years. You'll be gone. Facebook, I see the way the algorithm is working, and it's just not working for the people that are copying and pasting, because marketers understand their target audience. They understand what they like, what they don't like, the language, the terminology they like. So it's time to be a marketer. Forget about all. I know there's some polls here in this group about different tools. I don't use any tools at all except what's up here. I don't subscribe to any tools. I moved from doing that to finding products for people, something that does something for them, a benefit, a solution, or just something that they really think is cool. But it's based on my understanding of that audience, and in many cases, browsing around lots of different products. So I specifically look for things that other people aren't. Most of the things that I sell, I don't think anybody's selling them on Facebook at all, and that works so much better when they see my video ad. They're seeing something they've never seen before. I see ads on Facebook. It's not as bad as it used to be, but I used to see the same ad for the same thing from multiple different people. But thank goodness it's no longer that way. But if you cannot find original products, you are going to struggle. You're going to start struggling. If you're not struggling now, you're going to struggle soon, because Facebook is showing us in the algorithm, and you see that in the performance of your ads. Facebook is telling us that you need to, bring your game up to the level that they want it, and if you don't, you're going to not make money. So, when I've seen what I've been talking today applied, I would rather have. I don't test a whole bunch of things. A lot of people say, "Oh, test 5 things a day," and I usually test 1 thing a week. But my ads last longer, so I don't need to do chase my tail every single day and churn out those ads where 80% of them never work. I mean, these days my success rate is about 75% versus what, when you churn and, the churn and burn copy and paste method. I mean, I know a lot of people that they may only get 0.5%. I know some people might get 1 or 2 a week, but that's it. What I do, it takes a lot less time than for me to test 1 item that I know I have a really good idea that it's going to work. And do a video for it, write real ad copy that also converts, build a really great landing page. When I go from quantity to quality, makes this business so much more fun to do. And I know for those that have never done a video, what you've got in your head is saying, "Oh, it's going to take me hours to make that video, and then I got to spend hours to do the editing." Yeah, that's true. However, once you get over that, and you will if you get something working, once you get past that and you do it effectively, it's going to seem like the easiest thing in the world, because it's so much better than spinning your wheels every single day trying to find that the 2%, that one or 2 out of 100 that work. It makes things so much better. I mean, I just look at my ad sets that are running and running and running, and and they just seem to be selling more even without like today I just looked at an ad. I haven't changed the budget for a couple days, and it's selling more today than it did yesterday, and it's selling more than the day before. I got a question here. Writing words that sell. So there's a book called Spin Selling, and it's an old book about writing copy. So understand that when you sell a product, you're not selling a product. Okay, I want to be really clear with this, because when I sell physical products, but what I do is I don't sell the product. I create an offer. So I created an offer and write ad copy. So usually my ad copy doesn't even mention the product, but it certainly mentions what it does for somebody. And that's the difference between somebody that does copy and paste and somebody that's a marketer. And so are you selling a product? If you're selling just the product, then you're going to struggle. If you're not struggling right now, you will, but it's because people buy an emotion. So if you're selling on logic on a platform like Facebook, and Facebook is designed for marketers, because what do we use for our targeting method? It's interests. So it's what people are interested in. That's an emotional thing. So you better do your ad where it conjures up some sort of emotion. Your copy should match that too. Okay. I got a question here about drop shipping. I only drop ship to test products. When they're successful, I import them in bulk and ship from the USA. Now, if it's a product I also sell internationally, I'll drop ship the international items, international customers. But anything in the USA gets, after I've proven the product that works, I import it and fulfill from the USA. I also have products coming from the U.S. So there's products in the U.S. you can sell too, and it's usually the higher end products and higher price products and the higher quality products made in the USA. So anyway, let me know if there's any other questions. I'll follow the thread. And this is a really great group. I really like the way this group is managed, and it only keeps the people that are engaged. And so, we've got a really great group. There's a really great group here that there's a lot of feedback and conversation going on. Okay, got a question in here. Product research. What are your favorite platforms? I like AliExpress. It's like having going to the Canton Fair, but you don't have to leave home. I like to say about AliExpress. I don't know how many millions of products are on there. There's millions. I think there's millions. It's got to be more than a million or multiple millions. And what I say is, if there's millions of products on AliExpress, why are you copying someone else's product? Go find your own. Or at least just go find something better than what somebody else is selling. Don't sell the same thing. There's so many things out there to sell. There should be no reason why to copy someone else. There's a good book called Blue Ocean Strategy. If you haven't read it, you need to read it and apply it to e-commerce, that philosophy. Because what a red ocean is what most people do is they sell the same. They'll go someplace and find top sellers and just sell the same thing everybody else is selling. And that's a red ocean. Everyone's trying to sell the same thing. I want a blue ocean, which is there's no sharks. There's no sharks in a blue ocean. It's a red ocean where everyone's eating each other up. So I want something. I want to sell something unique. Okay, so there's lots of things to sell. Don't just copy someone else's thing. Go find something. When you see an ad, you look at an ad, it's selling well. So what I do is when I see a really good ad and I see there's lots of views on it, I know it's successful. I keep a swipe file. I do a screenshot of the ad, so I collect that. And so I want to collect the things that are successful and model that. So when I look at an ad on Facebook that's successful, I read it and I try to understand why it works. I do the same thing when I see television ads. I look at the ad and I try to pick it apart mentally. When I see a billboard, I do the same thing. So all of us as marketers should also, we're on the, it's like us, we're behind the curtain on this. So when you see marketing around in a magazine or TV or Facebook or Google, you should be looking at those ads and trying to understand why they work and why they wrote what they did, why they're showing what they did. So you can get an education in marketing just from looking at what other people are doing. So if you see a Cadillac ad on a billboard, well, they've spent a lot of money for that ad. So why is that person dressed that way? Why do they have that phrase up there? Whenever you see advertising, question it yourself and try to understand why they did that. Because you've got these billion-dollar companies spending millions and millions on ads. They've got some really smart people that understand marketing very, very deeply and are dealing with a lot more understanding of their target audience than we are with many of ours. But what I like is, being in a restaurant. When our kids were growing up, we didn't let them watch broadcast television. So I started enjoying the ads when you go to a restaurant, and then the volume is turned down. And so when you look at a TV ad and there's no sound, well, you look at it differently. So you'll notice in a TV ad, just like a video ad you do on Facebook, there's always movement going on because they never want you to get bored. And so next time you're in front of the television and an advertisement comes up, mute the sound. And the experience of that ad is completely different without the sound. So that's your homework assignment. Second homework assignment is next time you watch a sports commentator that's in studio or a newscast, what I want you to do is look at the background. Tell me, is there constant movement in the background? Yes or no? So take a look at the news media, sports, the commentators that are indoors. Look at what they do. They're using some psychology to keep you engaged. So that's your second homework assignment. Look at the backgrounds and see what's going on. Is there constant motion? Yes or no? All right. So when you've got a chance, just answer those in the comments in the thing here. But definitely, whenever you see an ad somewhere, you pick it apart. Pick apart that ad. Why did they say that? Is it a question? Is it a comment? Are they trying to make people feel bad? Are they trying to make people feel jealous? Are they trying to make people feel like with a car ad? They're always showing the shiny new car with some new feature. They're trying to make you feel like you've got some old car and you're behind the times. So look at the ads and read them as a marketer and try to understand what they are trying to make you feel. So the better you understand what emotion you can make your audience feel that works, the better you get at that, the more effective your ads will be, and you won't have to go through so much. So I just want everybody here, video is just the best way right now, and it probably will be the thing for quite some time. But we need to use it correctly to make it work. So you need to, when you do your video, you're in control of a certain amount of seconds of what someone is doing. You need to show the right things, and doing the right things in a video is much more effective. It's a lot more effective than stealing somebody's video off YouTube. and it also making your own. It's it's a recipe for long-term success, where copying somebody else's video, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or somewhere else, is you will eventually it'll come back and bite you. All right. So I've been thinking about this for a couple days. Wanted to get this out there, and look forward to the answers to your homework assignments. Everybody have a great evening, and I'll see everybody later.